Where's the attitude? When will Alabama football return to that smash mouth, nasty style of play we were accustomed to under Nick Saban? Stick around. This is Way Offsides. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever the case may be. Welcome into Cotton Time with Way Offsides, WSN. I feel like these are all I'm doing with my time, but you're worth it, and we'll make them for you. We got a live show coming up Thursday night, this Thursday. Be sure to be there. That'll be at 8 p.m. Central Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we'll feature, let me make sure I get this right. Whoop, there we go. We'll feature your comments. Best comment wins. So leave a comment, and you can be famous on YouTube. While you're at it, please like and subscribe. If you do that, it boosts our algorithm. We get more views. We can make more content. You know the drill. Like, subscribe. Also hit the notification bell. You'll never miss anything, whether it be a short, a live, our members only stuff. If you're not a member, consider becoming a member, because that is where you get a lot of our recruiting information that we don't give out to everybody else. But I want to talk about something near and dear to my heart, and that is, when will Alabama return to the attitude that we're accustomed to? I was watching some footage, right? I was watching some footage of that 2016 Alabama defense. You guys remember Jonathan Allen, Superman, sacking Trevor Knight at Texas A&M. Ardarius Stewart walking around the sideline with the assassin's axe. Where did that go? What happened? When will it come back? Gather around, boys and girls. It's story time with Uncle Cotton. Let's talk about it. Cue the music, maestro. It's playing. It means we got some stuff to talk about. I think Alabama, over the past couple of seasons, especially towards the end of Nick Saban's tenure, they got a little soft. It's not to say that the brand suffered, but I think the team in general got soft. And it was a hard thing not to happen. It's going to happen to everybody because times are changing, folks. Right? These high schoolers that are going into college aren't like the high schoolers that were going into college 20 years ago. There's not a bunch of Reuben Fosters running around in 2015. There's some, though. Ask Bray Hubbard. But what happened ultimately to that I don't know, that swag, I guess, that Alabama had and that they carried with them into the field? I remember listening to Manti Te'o talk about the 2012 national championship, really the 2011 season, but any Hoosiers. Oh, wait, hold on. I think I have that a year early. You know what I mean? Notre Dame, Alabama, right? And he's talking about seeing DJ Fluker walk out of the dressing room with these other players and how him and Notre Dame were just like, uh-oh, that's it. He says it. I knew we were going to lose, right? What happened to that swag? Where is it? Does it exist for this team in 2025? I tell you this, a lot of teams that traditionally have that swag, Georgia had it for a little bit. It's starting to fall off, right? That, like, I don't know if I want to play this team. They seem unbeatable. Like, where did that go, right? I think it's changed with the nature of kids nowadays. We live in a time where social media is one of the heaviest influencers on high schoolers. So you see a lot of videos of these kids dancing and doing TikTok dances and stuff like that in locker rooms. We didn't see that 15, 20 years ago. So that's probably the biggest piece of the puzzle, right? But also, in some instances, and I'm not saying this about anybody at Alabama because I would never talk about our beloved Crimson Tide players this way, but I think you're also dealing with some prima donnas. There's some kids making large amount of dollars in college now. Not like, they weren't before, right? Pretty sure they were. But anyway, I digress. So you got kids that are, they don't want to be extra aggressive. I've always said this was my issue with the NFL is you don't get everyone's highest level of play, although their play on average is at a high level. You don't get their highest average or their highest level of play because nobody wants to get hurt and lose a contract, right? College, you would get a higher level of play out of these stars because they're trying to get that contract. So you're making $4 million in college. You don't really want to lose that money, do you? So that's some of it. And then I think the identity is shifted away from the team. It's more self-centered just because of the money that's involved now. Guys like Isaiah Bond. I want to say Caleb Downs, but I think his situation was a little bit different. I know Alabama fans might disagree with me there, but I think Caleb Downs had a really close and personal relationship with Nick Saban. And I think when Nick Saban retired, he was lost. Not to mention his dad was involved. That's one instance where using your family as representation actually worked out. Won a national championship. But any Hoosers, I don't think it's completely dead. I think there are still players that are bred that way. Malachi Moore was a great example last year, right? You all saw the Vandy game where he just lost his mind. Now, he went overboard. But you can't say that Malachi Moore wasn't a dog. You know what I mean? And longer the days where Alabama had a roster full of those guys. But I think in 2025, they're more primed to field a team that's reminiscent of that 2016 team because Alabama has spent 3 years, 2 of those under Nick Saban and 1 under Kalen DeBoer, trimming the fat, getting rid of the me's and the I's. And you've got a bunch of guys who are bought in finally to Kalen DeBoer's new process, not Nick Saban's process, but Kalen DeBoer's new process. You've got one guy on this team that's got a national championship ring in Latham, but everybody else is hungry for one. And we already know that defense at secondary, those dudes are dogs. They are ballers. We already know the wide receivers are smooth. I'm telling you guys, we keep joking about rideouts 2.0, but it might be coming. And we got 3 quarterbacks who are more than capable. We know what Jam's going to do on the ground. The question is the defensive line and the offensive line. Can they bring that attitude that we're used to seeing in the trenches? That's where winning starts, right? In football, it starts in the trenches. So if Alabama can cultivate, they can nurture that dog mentality on the offensive line, on the defensive line in that pass rush. Look out. Look out, college football world. All these people who think Alabama's just gone to the wayside because Nick Saban's on College Game Day, they've lost their minds. It's going to get nasty, folks. Tell me what you think. Will Alabama ever get back to that same level of swag they had between, we'll say 2009, 2016? I felt like it changed a little bit under guys like Tua. That's when the shift started. But really, it started to really decline when, Bryce Young and those guys came on. Not a knock against Bryce. It was just the way the culture was going. So tell me, what do you think? Will Alabama ever get that swagger back? Sure damn hope so. That'll do it, guys. Go check out our website, Way Offsides. 4 A's, not 3, not 5. 3's not enough, 5 too many. 4, just like in the word Alabama. It is a work in progress. Our live videos are up. We're working on a blog, trying to get this thing ranked with Google. You come into play there. You can Google it. Google Way Offsides. 4 A's. 4. And click on it. It's super simple. Helps us register the SEO with Google, and that is where we need to be. So things are going well. We appreciate and love each and every one of you. You know the drill. I got to say it one more time before we go night-night. Please say your prayers, wash your hands, read your Bibles, horns down. Beat Auburn and LSU and Tennessee too. Bring back the sideline axe. Roll damn Tide.